Hello, and welcome to this 7-part series on our planned and prepared planet. We begin in this part 1 discussing planning and preparation. Let's suppose that you have a friend who is coming to live in your area, and he has asked you for help in arranging somewhere for him and his young lady to live, as they are about to get married. So you make preparations. First of all, you need to find out what they need. Do they want a house or a flat or an apartment? Then, do they want to rent or buy a property? They say that they want a flat to rent at a reasonable price. So you begin your search by looking at adverts in newspapers and also calling into estate agents' offices. You discover that there is a flat available for rent, which is near town, overlooking the park, is already furnished, and the rental is what they can afford. You rush around to see it and discover that it is ideal and just what your friends are looking for. You tell them all about the flat and its location, and they travel down to see it, and they are delighted at your find, and they place a deposit with the owner. They return home, get married, and are then ready to move into the flat. But your preparations haven't finished yet, because you need to visit the flat and get it ready for your friends. You shop for some food for the fridge and buy various items that they will need. When they arrive at the flat, they are very grateful, as you have helped them to find a home from home. We have mentioned a typical example of a young couple starting a new life together and finding a home. But what about our corporate life in space? Let's go back in time to the time before time began. Imagine that you are there and you have a very special sort of spacecraft which can fly anywhere even though there is no time and nowhere. The spaceship sails through space and it never runs out of fuel. You circle around in your spaceship, but you find nothing, because there is nothing. However, you are not particularly concerned, as you are quite used to finding nothing. Eventually, you find yourself flying through a cloud of dust, but you have no idea where it came from. Then suddenly, the dust seems to collect together and form a solid large rock. Then more rock lumps seem to form and start to whirl around. Before you can say the word planet, all the rocks around you have become things called planets. Travelling on, you eventually discover one planet that attracts your attention because it has changed colour from grey to blue. You draw closer and notice that it is slowly revolving with another lump of grey rock revolving around it. You dive down to the blue planet to take a closer look and sweep over its surface. And you are amazed, because the planet is actually partly green, surrounded by a great expanse of blue, and the blue is moving about. You are now very puzzled. You land your spaceship on a piece of the green area, and you find that it is solid, and it is covered by things called trees and vegetation. You search around and find someone whose name is Adam. Searching further on, you find that someone else is among the trees, and she is called Eve. You have actually landed on the Earth and found the first 2 human beings. If we as human beings are to live in space, we need a home prepared for us, that is, a planet to live on. A planet that has a heat source, a sun, not too far away or we freeze, and not too near either or we fry. We need a planet on a journey around its sun to give us seasons. A planet with a satellite moon to assist the sun in marking times and seasons and causing sea tides. We need a planet that revolves to give us day and night, the night time for rest and sleep, because we need sleep for about 1/3 of our lives. So if we live to 75 years old, it means that we have been asleep for approximately 25 years. We also need a planet that can support life by providing some essentials. To begin, we will need air of the right composition to breathe. Experts tell us that our air, or atmosphere, is held in space by gravity because the Earth is the right size. If the Earth was smaller, then the atmosphere would be too thin. We call the atmosphere air, which is not all oxygen, as we might think. Its composition is about 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen, plus a few other minor gases. If the oxygen level varies too much, then we could become ill or even die. But the mix of gases is just right for humans and animals to breathe and live. We need clean water to drink, Our bodies are about 2/3 water. And water is the amazing abundant substance. It is tasteless, colourless, odourless, and dissolves most substances. It consists of two gases, oxygen and hydrogen. Now hydrogen is flammable and oxygen feeds a fire, yet water is used to put out fires. Amazing. How do we get this fresh water? We are provided with vast volumes of sea water, which cover approximately 2/3 of the surface of the planet and reaches a maximum depth of about 11 kilometers or 7 miles, and amounts to about 1.3 billion cubic kilometers or 320 million cubic miles. If all the land on Earth was level and the seas were piled on top, then they would cover the planet to a depth of about 3 kilometers, that is about 2 miles. Now that's a lot of water, but it is salty, and we can't drink salty water, so how can we get non-salty water? Fortunately for us, it just so happens that we have a free purification and desalination plant and also a transportation system to bring fresh water to the land from the sea. It's called the water cycle. The sun heats the sea water, which evaporates, forms clouds, and they are transported by the weather system to deposit clean water, by raining, onto the land. The water runs off the land into streams and rivers and into lakes or constructed reservoirs, and then can be piped to homes to give us the vital, fresh, clean water that we need. But most of the water runs back to the sea on an endless cycle, which has all been provided ready for us and the animals and plants. Water has a large heat capacity, which means that it is slow to heat up and slow to cool down, and this helps to stabilize the planet's temperature. We might ask, where did all this water and its constituent gases come from in the first place? We also need suitable food to eat. We get food from nutritious plants, fruits and vegetables, but also from nuts, seeds and beans. Research has shown that a plant-based diet is better for humans' general health, although some meat is necessary. We are told that plants contain essential nutrients, and the 6 major ones are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals and water, remembering again that our bodies are about 2/3 water. There are also medicinal herbs. The Royal College of Physicians Garden in London contains over 1,100 plants, all with links to medicines. So, as well as food, we have a ready-made chemist's or pharmacy right on our doorstep. It is not a coincidence that all these plants and medicinal herbs are suitable for use by humans and animals. Do you remember the familiar phrase, "You are what you eat"? We also need gravity to keep us on the ground, especially in Australia. Gravity keeps our atmosphere in place. But what is gravity? Sir Isaac Newton discovered the law of gravity from mathematics. It is the force by which a planet draws objects towards its centre. The larger the object, the larger the force of gravity. Gravity is very important to us because we could not live on Earth without it. The Sun's gravity keeps Earth in orbit around it, keeping us at a comfortable distance to enjoy the Sun's light and warmth. Gravity also keeps all of the other nearby planets in orbit around the Sun. We need day and night and seasons. These are possible because of the Sun and Moon and the Earth's inclination, all of which support life. All of this and a lot more had to be provided in advance of our arrival on spaceship Earth. Search around, and there are no planets suitable for life for millions of miles or light years, except for one, the Earth, third rock from the Sun, the blue planet. Was our unique planet formed by chance or fate, as one evolutionary scientist said on BBC TV recently? How much scientific analysis went into that comment? Instead of the chance-fate syndrome, we might ask, has our spaceship been prepared for us and for a complicated and interrelated plant creature life, with their needs known and prepared beforehand? The discerning thinking observer knows that our world cannot possibly be formed by chance or fate, because there is clear evidence of a complete package of preparation. Everything has been carefully planned and prepared. And that preparation was by someone, not something, amazingly prepared in advance for life to begin and be sustained. We should appreciate that we have a spacious home from home in space, and we all know that is no place like home. In summary, the location of the Earth and its environment are amazingly just right for life, planned, prepared, and provided. Is it all part of an accidental meaningless chance, or a carefully designed and created order? Based on the overwhelming evidence, we have to decide.